And we're live in
We usually
5, 4, 3, 2,
10,
1.
15 minutes. Yeah, or whenever. We don't force it. So whenever. Oh, organic, right? Give me 20, whatever.
I'm sure mine will probably be
5 minutes. Here we go. Hey guys, Jordan Nielsen here, host of Real Estate Pros on Lister Pros TV. Today we're in Guild Mortgage in Tucson, Arizona with Marcus Montano
Hey,
of 33 Realty. Thank you so much for joining me on Real Estate Pros.
thanks for having me. Appreciate
Awesome.
it.
So for those watching that don't know who you are, we'll give you a moment to introduce yourself.
Okay, Marcus Montano. I'm with 33 Realty. I'm relatively young to the industry. It'll be, 2 years in June. So I'm still, I guess, somewhat of a rookie
Yeah?
in the real estate industry. Yeah.
Awesome.
But I'm enjoying it, I'm enjoying it. Business is picking up, so.
So what interested you in getting into real estate?
Well, actually, I had no idea I would ever be in real estate. To be honest with you, I guess like many agents, they kind of pick it up as a side hustle.
Yeah.
I still work for Costco, a great company in Tucson, but I work early mornings. So I've been with them for 22 years, and a few years ago, I had a personal setback, and Gabe Navarro is my broker, and Javier Tapia, they've been on your show.
Yeah. I've talked to them.
They kind of reached out to me, and they recruited me. Basically, Gabe said, "Hey, I just opened up my brokerage, and we think you might be an asset if you want to go get licensed and come on board, And so I did. I went to Hogan and did the classes, and 2 years later, here we are.
Awesome. 2 years into the business.
Yeah.
I went through real estate school as well, but I guess I'll ask you. So, what was the biggest surprise when, I guess after finishing real estate school and then you get into the business?
The biggest surprise?
I guess surprise or thing. For me, it was like they don't really necessarily teach you how to be a successful real estate agent. They more teach you the rules.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I don't know if it's so much a surprise, but it was just kind of like that harsh reality, you know what I mean? You kind of there was a time where, I would be going to the office and I just felt like I wasn't really, doing much, but I still had to, keep that mindset where, you just got to keep going in, being active, being active on Facebook and, your circle. So,
right.
That first year was a little rough. There wasn't much going on. I think I got 1 year on my first deal, or one deal in my first year.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, since then, things have been picking up for me.
That's oftentimes, people may transition. Oh, it's easy money, but typically for like the first 6 months, it's pretty challenging to kind of get the word out about that I'm a real estate agent.
Right.
People typically only buy or sell homes once every 5 years, so it's kind of...
Yeah, and even like in my family, there's a lot of real estate agents
that
in my
too.
family, so it's kind of like, all right, well, they have, one more to pick from if they ever want to, use me, so...
Yeah. Awesome. So we know that there's a lot of different focuses or focus areas within real estate itself that you can choose to go after, property management, commercial or residential. What type of real estate do you practice?
Well, right now, primarily, it's residential.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've heard, you ultimately want to build yourself as a listing agent if you're in residential. But me being somewhat new to the industry, I'll do listings. I'll take buyers on. We even started doing business in Phoenix, so I'll drive up to Phoenix to show houses and whatnot. So, buying, selling, investments, I'll do
all the
pretty
above.
much whatever's needed, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I was going to ask you what area of Tucson do you focus on? But if you're willing to go to Phoenix, you probably cover it all.
No, preferably in Tucson.
Yeah, preferably.
But recently, last month was probably one of my busiest months. I had two deals in Phoenix, and then recently, one of our agents even branched out to Sedona. So we're a young company, but we're starting to branch out and we're starting to get bigger. So I mean, we pretty much leave all options out on the table there. You know
Right.
what I mean,
And that's one thing I want to talk about because I did interview Gabe Navarez, 33 Realty. How, like, we know that he might have convinced you to get into real estate, but there are a lot of options when it comes to brokerages out there. What makes 33 Realty unique, or why did you ultimately choose 33?
well, ultimately it was the friendship, and I felt Gabe kind of, like I said, he reached out to me at a time where it was a rough time for me, and just the fact that, like I said, he recognized me as an asset. And I knew he was a good friend, and I think I've known him for about 8 years. And so I pretty much trusted him, and so I was like, well, I've seen what he's doing, and I sparked my interest. I want to be a part of that. Even though it's small, and not that being small is bad, but
Sure.
I thought, what, maybe that's an opportunity to get more personal attention, more training. So yeah, I mean, I went on board, and with Gabe and the other agents that we have there, it's almost like a family. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's a very tight knit group there. So I really appreciate that about our company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what do you like most about working in real estate?
The flexibility.
Yeah.
I mean, so I work at Costco, a big box from 4 to noon, which, what I do there is pretty flexible as well. But when I'm outside of that, you're not contained, you're not in a box.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think I would like, the traveling, driving around, but I actually do enjoy it. I don't mind driving to Phoenix. Phoenix isn't a bad drive. Once you're in Phoenix, it's a different story.
Right. When you get to
But
Phoenix.
yeah, the drive to Phoenix it's actually it's a nice time to just I do the audio books and whatnot on the road,
Yeah.
so it's a nice time to catch up and do some reading.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, the travel's not bad. The flexibility is great. And if you get paid, even better.
Yeah.
Right.
So how long have you lived here in the Tucson area?
I'm born and raised here.
Oh, born and raised.
Born and
So
raised,
you're
yeah.
pretty familiar with the area.
Yeah.
Because I think that's common where there's a lot of people that weren't necessarily from here that aren't too familiar.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably something that makes you different than other agents, because a lot of agents may not have been born and raised here.
Right. Well, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm still kind of dependent on my GPS. So
Yeah.
I was raised on the outskirts of Tucson. But I'm pretty familiar with the town.
All right.
Yeah.
So what makes you different than other agents? Why would, if somebody watching this is interested in having you represent them as a buyer seller, why would they choose you versus the agent down the street?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty dedicated. I look forward to a challenge, and granted, now that things have been picking up, I'm starting to run into some of these challenges, and I think I'm pretty calm for the most part and able to change gears whenever challenges come up. But I'm able to see things through and not get too frazzled. Yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm a dedicated employee, dedicated agent, willing to do whatever is needed to be done to represent my clients. So.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned overcoming challenges, because there's always, it seems like on almost every single deal there's some type of challenge that you run into.
Yeah, that's kind of what
you
I've
didn't
been
really
noticing.
notice. And that was another eye opener when getting out of real estate school. Is there's so many variables to a successful closing.
Yeah.
That they don't necessarily go over.
Right. And it's just as time goes on and I'm doing more and more transactions, I'll be aware of things that happened in the past. So you can kind of see it from a distance and then, hey, nip it in the bud, you know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Exactly. Well, awesome. If somebody watching this is interested in reaching out to you and having you represent them as a buyer or seller, how do people get a hold of you?
You can reach me by Marcus Montano at 33realtyco.com, or you can contact me directly, 520-300-5050, which is the easiest phone number to remember.
That is easy.
It's super easy.
What is it? Say it again.
520-300-5050.
Oh, easy. I
Yeah.
wish I had
It's
that
almost like
phone
you're calling a
number.
cab.
Put that on your car. Realtor.
Yeah, so
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your
All
busy
right,
day, joining
appreciate
me
you
on
having
Real
me.
Estate Pros. And we will see you guys on the next episode.